Xenoblade Chronicles X. Oh my god, I haven't been so pumped for a game in a very long time. This is a sequel to the highly praised Xenoblade Chronicles on the Wii. I have always loved this series, with the PlayStation 1 Xenogears and Xenoblade Chronicles being two of my favourite RPGs ever made, so naturally I had huge expectations for this. To be honest, it really isn't difficult to give Chronicles X the title of Best RPG on the Wii U, because, well, it's pretty much the only RPG on the Wii U, so I'll go a step further and say that Chronicles X is the best game on the entire console. I may be biased being the huge RPG nut that I am, but I think this statement is very well justified. The real question is it as good as a prequel? Watch and find out. Earth was a happy place. Was a happy place. You see, two unknown alien races decide to battle it out near Earth, which completely destroys the planet. What bastards! Fortunately, a few evacuation ships escape. One such vessel, the White Whale, spends the next couple of years looking for a new home, until they're shot down by that damn alien race that destroyed Earth. This causes the White Whale to crash land on an unknown planet, and from here, it's a tale of survival. The narrative is separated into chapters, as many games are these days. This is fine, but there are often loads of tasks that you need to complete prior to commencing a story quest, such as reaching a certain level or raising your affinity with a party member. This can be very time consuming and at times can disrupt the flow of the story. But the plot itself is pretty cool and full of plenty of twists and turns. The whole idea of crash landing on a beautiful unexplored planet inhabited by God knows what and exploring it for the first time is really incredible. There are some awesome cutscenes throughout this journey of survival, and these drive the plot well, but there are too many instances where the cinematic scenes are put aside for a simple, poorly presented style featuring a rotatable camera. These scenes are unengaging and are often on for lengthy amounts of time as characters speak. This did nothing more than distance me from the plot. So yeah, the story does a good job and it is full of potential, but for those very reasons, it isn't delivered nearly as well as it could have been. I promise you this, you will want to put many hours aside to explore the lands of Mira. The amount of detail and sheer scope of this land is second to none, and exploring every inch was my #1 priority. Everything you see in the distance can be reached. You want to climb that massive mountain over there? You can do it. This is what every open world game aspires to become. Exploring these lands is the best part of Chronicles X, as it was for its prequel. Explaining it will not do it justice. You have to experience it for yourself. Mira is also filled with loads of creatures, and they are incredible. They all range in levels, so you have to actively stay away from certain places and come back later when you're a bit stronger. On this topic, I would have liked to see some of the monsters maul each other. Humans just got to the planet, so why are we the only food source? Massive creatures battling it out in the background would have been the next step to greatness. You can explore a lot of this world by foot, but the true magic happens when you acquire your mech, which are called skells. The feeling of getting into the cockpit and soaring the skies for the first time was amazing. Apart from the original Xenoblade, no other game's open setting has come close to giving me the desire to explore like this did. Those who have seen my White Knight Chronicles review know that I have a problem with pointless main characters that do nothing more than just stand around looking pretty, or ugly if that's your thing. You create your character at the start, but he never says anything, and when you have the option to choose a response, the background music cuts out and the flow of the scene is destroyed. The reason for Mr. Personality's starring role is to link offline play with online play, but when something as important as a quality main character is sacrificed for a trivial element such as optional online quests that most people won't even try out, I have a problem. There are 19 playable characters to accompany Mr. Personality, many being optional recruits. This is massive. Unlocking them all will take quite a bit of work, as most require the completion of specific side quests. You won't know much about most of these characters simply by completing the main game. You'll have to take on the many optional affinity missions to learn about them, which I really don't have a problem with. This game has a huge scope, and investing time into these characters is very worthwhile. What I do have a problem with is that every single story mission requires you to take Elma and Lynn with you. This means that only one of the remaining 17 characters will ever be used to progress the story. It kind of feels like the developers employed some young, artsy, high-as-a-kite experimental composer for the job. Some tracks work incredibly well in setting atmosphere, while others sound like they were randomly picked from a high school stock music database. Yeah! This will drive some crazy after the first several times. Just imagine what you'll think after the millionth time! In fact, I've never played a game with so many vocal-based tracks in my life. A large percentage of the entire soundtrack features vocals, and this is actually really great. However, when the audio technician has no concept of sound separation, frustration soon follows. What I'm trying to say is, you'll need to have subtitles on 100% of the time, or you will not be able to understand what is said because of the background music. There is no excuse for this. No, there's no ability to lower the music volume either. Please. Am I all alone? The battle system works much like its predecessor, which is excellent news. You take control of one character, with basic attacks being unleashed automatically. The strategy comes in selecting arts at the right time. There are loads of arts to learn from over 16 classes. Each art has a cooldown and often a special situation that makes the art more effective, such as doubling its attack power if you attack from behind an enemy. The primary way to heal in battle is through combining arts with other party members. This is called the shout system. Under special circumstances, such as when your HP drops below a certain level, you can interact with a party member by timing a specific art, which will in turn heal your party. This ensures you are always on the ball in battles. For these reasons, you shouldn't just go in hot-headed and spam everything you have. Then there's the skill battles. These uber powerful machines not only allow you to travel to every nook in the world, but they also enable you to take on the biggest, most deadly creatures scattered around Mira. You can attach up to 10 weapons onto these things, each with their own associated art. Those giant enemies that kicked your ass in the past will now be shitting themselves. Yeah, skills make you feel godly, and this is brilliant, but once skills are available to you, fighting on foot becomes rather pointless. There are some places where you are forced to fight without a skull, but the large majority of the world and story can only be conquered in these powerful machines. I would have liked a little more opportunity to show off my character's power, rather than just my skills power. Let me emphasize this, there is so much to do in Chronicles X, and yeah, this can get a little overwhelming at first. Apart from the main story, there's basic missions from the job board and normal NPC missions which are much more detailed. Then there's the previously mentioned affinity missions which provide characterization for the many party members that you can recruit. Then there's exploring the world to find the many hidden locations, the artifacts, the hundreds of collectible items for your collectopedia, the probe locations, the powerful tyrant monsters, and this isn't even taking into account the hours you'll spend gathering materials to craft the best weapons and armor. My point is obvious, Chronicles X is huge in every way imaginable. An awesome narrative setting, a massive, diverse, detailed world to explore, kick-ass gameplay, a shitload of things to do, godlike skills. This is why Xenoblade Chronicles X is my #1 game on the Wii U. If it wasn't for the poor way in which the story was delivered and some volume issues, then this game may have surpassed the greatness of its predecessor. But at the end of the day, both games are amazing, so play them both. Right now. Go on. You played them yet? This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you liked this review, like, subscribe, comment, and check out some of my other stuff. See you next time.